Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another great day to discuss other people's excellence. I'm the unforgettable one himself, Mr. Brett Carroll, and I'm just a guy that loves BXing at work. We're gonna do something different today. I did the 3.5 yesterday. I was going to upload it. You were supposed to see it Tuesday, but then Monday night the NFL had different plans. As I'm sure all you are aware, the Eagles and the Saints made a kind of a blockbuster trade. You know, it probably would be even bigger if names were involved, but this is still a pretty significant trade. Basically, the Saints traded for the Eagles' last two first round picks in exchange for their own first round pick. As well as future picks, I believe a seventh rounder, a first rounder next year, and a second rounder 2024. So now the Eagles have two first round picks still, but the Saints also have two first round picks. And it's kind of funny. It goes Eagles, Saints, Eagles, Saints. We'll see that in a minute. So because of that, I had to redo the draft. And what I realized is instead of doing a 3.5 with trades, let's just go ahead and do a straight up 4.0. Let's just skip the 3.5. Let's do the 4.0. Let's just get it over with. Let's have fun with it. Let's do that and go from there, because that is very intriguing. That shakes up a lot of stuff, and it says a lot about what I think these teams are trying to accomplish in the draft. I said it yesterday, but obviously I'm not putting that out. Reason why you're not seeing my face is I'm a little under the weather. I look like crap. I sound like crap. So that way, you're not gonna see my beautiful face today, but that's okay. I'll give you more space to see what I'm doing here on the screen. So let's get started. Let's do this, and we're gonna get started. Okay. So with Jacksonville, I gotta be honest with you. I still think Evan Neal is the pick here. I know people are saying Aiden Hutchinson, and I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, they franchise tagged Cam Robinson, but he hasn't signed that franchise tag yet. And even if he does, that's still only a 1-year deal. I still feel like offensive tackle might be the play here, but just for the sake of argument, we'll do Aiden Hutchinson only because I did Evan Neal the first two mocks. So at least this time I'll do Aiden Hutchinson for these next two, and then we'll go from there. Now this is interesting. With Aiden Hutchinson off the board, a lot of people are saying Trayvon Walker here. I had Kyle Hamilton last time. Kayvon Thibodeau is still a guy that I think should be considered here if you're not afraid of the quote unquote off the field stuff, which again is kind of weird to say because like it's off the field. Why? Because he has other aspirations besides just football. You know what I mean? Like just because he's not gonna die for your team, you shouldn't draft him this high. I don't know if that's a realistic way of looking at things. So Kayvon Thibodeau could easily be a factor here, but you know what? Let's go with Trayvon Walker. Let's follow the trend. Let's do Trayvon Walker. He had an amazing combine. And he is showing people that wait a minute, he might have the same upside as a KT, as an Aiden Hutchinson, and his motor might be what we hope KT's is. So let's say that they're digging the hype. They were right there, right front and center at the combine. I think they went to the pro days as well. So let's do Trayvon Walker. Let's just do it and see what we have going on here. Now Houston is interesting. Again, Evan Neal is definitely a factor here. KT is definitely a factor here. Kyle Hamilton's definitely a factor here. Sauce Gardner is definitely a factor here. There's so many things they can do here, but let's make it interesting. Let's just say 3 edge rushers. Last year we had 3 quarterbacks go off the board. Let's have 3 edge rushers go off the board. 1, 2, 3. How crazy would that be, right? And it makes sense, right? The second most important position besides quarterback is a guy getting after the quarterback. So let's say these 3 teams are saying, you know what? Because there's not a quarterback in this draft that we want, let's get guys that can go after the quarterback. Let's do that. Number 4. All right. Jets fans have been yelling at me since I've been starting this. They said, we're not doing offensive line. We're not doing offensive line. We're not doing offensive line. We like Font. We like Becton. We're not doing offensive line. So at 4, all you see this. Look, 1, 2, 3. The 3 offensive tackles are all right here. Evan Neal. Now I don't know why Malik Willis is ranked that high. He should not be, but these 2 guys are probably the top ranked guys in the draft. But I'm not gonna go offensive line. Y'all swear to me that you guys aren't gonna go offensive line. Y'all swear to me that this is not what you guys are gonna do. I think you should. I think you should give Zach Wilson the greatest offensive line he could possibly have. But that's just me. Y'all swear that's not going to be the case. So let's see what else you guys can do. You could do Sauce. A lot of people think you guys will go Sauce. You could do Kyle Hamilton. You could go receiver. I think it's a little rich to go receiver. To be honest with you, I think it's a little rich to go receiver. Excuse me. But I think Sauce might be the pick here. I'll give you guys Sauce. That way, you guys can't say that I didn't give you guys a great draft pick, okay? And I didn't do offensive line. So now, if you are the New York Giants, you are tickled pink because once again, all 3 offensive tackles are here at 5. No matter what happens at 7, you will get an offensive tackle. So you know what? Why not take the best player available? Why not take a guy you really like and go Kyle Hamilton here at 5 because you know that an offensive tackle will be there at 7. And if you're the Panthers, this is a dream come true if this happens because at 6, you're probably trying desperately to trade down. And most of these mocks, you're probably either settling for Charles Cross or you're not getting an offensive tackle at all. Early in this process, we saw these offensive tackles were going early and often. And so the Panthers aren't even getting a chance to get an offensive tackle. Now all 3 are staring you right in the face. You're going to take Evan Neal here. I know I did this last time as well. But I'm just going by what we're hearing now, okay? This is not me being a biased Panthers fan. I'm just going off of what I'm hearing, okay? I would have definitely had Evan Neal go to the Jets at 4, but I'm getting yelled at and cursed out, and I don't know what I'm talking about by Jets fans. So, again, I throw my hands up. And I say, y'all got it. Y'all know your team better than I know them. So I'm not going to argue with you guys. If you guys are saying that you're not going to take an offensive tackle at 4, then fine. I won't have you guys take an offensive tackle. The Texans also could have taken an offensive tackle, but I just thought it would be interesting to see what would happen if the top 3 pass rushers came off the board that early. So, if you're the Panthers, you're praying that this is what happens because that makes your decision a whole lot easier, right? And it makes the Giants' decision a whole lot easier. Kim Iguanu. Now, I'm trying to remember. Somebody said Akem doesn't fit the system. So maybe they would go Charles Cross here. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember. I'm sure Giants fans will let me know. I could have sworn somebody said Akem doesn't really fit. No, it was Charles Cross doesn't fit the Panther system. Okay. So I'm gonna go with Kim Iguanu for the Giants. I want to make sure I do that right. So here we go. Now, Falcons. Do we go Jermaine Johnson here? I think that's a little early. Garrett Wilson is very intriguing. They need some receivers bad. They need some receivers bad. I know the Jets would be upset. I know the Commanders would be upset. But I think we're going to have to give them Garrett Wilson, give them some receivers. They need it really bad. If you're the Seattle Seahawks, why not take Charles Cross here? Get some help for the offensive line. Drew Lock is probably your quarterback for this year. Unless they can always draft one in the second round or something like that. They have 2 second-round picks. I'm sure they'll use one of them for a quarterback. At number 9, instead of reaching for a guy, go ahead and get some offensive line help. Jets, you're sitting here at 10. Let's see what your options are. You could go Jake London. You could go Jamison Williams. You could go Jermaine Johnson. I really think you should go offense here. I really believe that you should I'm a firm believer in giving your quarterback the best chance to be successful, which again is why I would have went offensive line at 4 and then wide receiver at 10. But Jets fans are telling me that's not what y'all going to do. So I'm going to fall back and listen to y'all. And so for me, if you're going to take best player available, Jermaine Johnson's not bad, but that means you went defense with 2 of your top 10 picks and you did nothing to help your offense. I just can't see that being a thing. I can't see that being a thing. I just can't see it. But you do have a defensive-minded coach, so maybe that's the thing. I can't believe I'm gonna do this, but yeah, I'm gonna give y'all Jermaine Johnson. And some of y'all might love this. I would hate this if I'm a Jets fan. Again, Sam Darnold didn't work out because they never put guys around him. I did say last year that they did more for Zach Wilson in 3 days than they did for Sam Darnold in 3 years. But to me, this would be a step back in his development if you spend your top 2 picks on defensive players instead of offensive players. Now, granted, it's a deep offensive line draft. It's a deep wide receiver draft. So obviously in the second round, third round, etc., you could always get those positions. I agree. I also agree with that. But it's also a deep corner. I guess the pushback to that would be it's also a deep corner draft. It's also a deep edge draft. So you can say that and say, okay, but you could have got your corner and your edge rusher in the second round too. But in this case, we'll go defense and we'll say that they're going to get their offense in the second and third rounds. So we'll do that. If you are Washington, I think wide receiver has to be the pick. Carson Wentz loves big, tall receivers. Give him Drake London. He'll love that. Hopefully that helps him in his development. Derek Stingley, I think I've been doing this. I think I've done this in every single mock, but to me, it makes so much sense. If he's here at 12, you have to take him. They need a corner. They've done well in drafting LSU players. Looking at you, Justin Jefferson. He looks good in the purple and gold. So Derek Stingley here makes sense. Okay, now if you are the Texans at 13, what are you doing? Look at this board here. They already took an edge rusher, which again would have made more sense to take an offensive lineman at 3 and then taking somebody else at 13. Because now they're bored. Now, if they're looking at this board, it's a little weird. Maybe Andrew Booth or Trent McDuffie here would make sense. Maybe. Because they use some cornerbacks. Obviously, they're not going to take a quarterback right here. Yeah, why don't we give him Andrew Booth? I like Andrew Booth. Let's do that. The Ravens, what are they going to do? I think if you're the Ravens and you're looking at this, you have to go Trevor Penning. Just the value. You could do Devontae Wyatt. You could go Jordan Davis. Lord have mercy. You could go Jordan Davis. But I don't think they're going to go defensive line that early. I don't think. Trevor Penning looks like a Raven. He's mean. He's nasty. He's going to put people in the dirt. I think they would love him in Baltimore. So we'll give him Trevor Penning. Now, here we go. Here's the juice, right? Here's the trades. 15, to the Eagles, but then they don't pick again until 18. So they got to be very careful about this 15th pick because they're not picking again until 18. It's not like they used to have 16 here, and now they don't. So you want to make sure you get the guy you really want first because they're no longer guaranteed to be there when you pick again. Jameson Williams makes sense. I think what they will do, I think they're going to go defense, offense. I think they're going to go wide receiver, and I really think they should go Devin Lloyd. That's just me. Would they take Devin Lloyd at 15 though? I think they're going to take the wide receiver first because you figure, well, here's where the draft, here's where as a GM you're looking at what's you're looking at not just your board, but what's going on around you. I think the Saints went up to 16 to get an offensive lineman. Now, granted, Penning's gone. So maybe you're safe. So maybe you can take your defensive player knowing that the wide receiver you want will probably be there at 18 because they're going to have to go offensive tackle because the top 4 offensive tackles are gone. They got to get their offensive tackle now, and they'll probably wait for a receiver at 19. So you could probably get the receiver you want. I'm sorry. You could probably go defensive player here, go receiver here, because these two teams are looking at offensive line. They're not looking at receiver. So that might be the play here. So with that being said, I think I go Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd, get your linebacker that you've been needing desperately, that the fans have been begging for. Get it done, make them happy. And then the Saints, this might be a reach. A lot, Rahad Ryan is another guy that a lot of people are really high on. Some people think he deserves a top 20 pick. You might just have to do it here at 16 because all the offensive tackles are gone and they need an offensive tackle. Now let me see. Is he more of a right though? Let me just make sure. Hold on. I think he's a left tackle. I know Penning is more considered to be a right. Yeah, starting left tackle. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Boom. There you go. So now if you are the Chargers, I don't know what you do here. I think offensive lineman was a big deal. But at this point, I think they have to go Jordan Davis, fix that run defense that was really bad. The offensive tackles just aren't there at 17. They're going to go Jordan Davis. And now if you are the Eagles, Jameson Williams is still here. Again, do you trust the knee? Treylon Burks is still available. Do you like him as a receiver, as just a weapon, a guy that you can throw it out to and see if he can make a play? Chris Olave, another really good route runner, strong hands, a trusty wide receiver for Jalen Hurts to throw the ball to. I think that's where they go here. Chris Olave going to the Eagles. Excuse me. All right. So now, Saints back on the board. They desperately need wide receiver. I'm going to give them Treylon Burks. Jameson Williams is obviously a guy that they could take, but I think they want, obviously the knee issue is the problem there. And I think they're trying to win now. I don't think you make a move like this unless you're trying to capitalize on this year. And with the uncertainty of his knee, I don't think it makes sense to take him if you're the Saints. That's just me. All right. Steelers. if you're looking at your board here, Malik Willis is still there. And I really don't want to take Malik Willis. I truly believe if he's there at 20, they're going to take him. I think that's a mistake. I think this is a team that I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but because of our schedule, because of some of the things that are going on around other teams in our division and in our conference, this is a year you can actually sneak up on people. And if not win the division, I think you could get a wild card spot. So I'm not a big believer in taking a guy that's not even going to play for you this high in the draft. If he's not going to play this year, don't draft him in the first round if this is a year that you think you can sneak into the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs, again, I'm not saying you win the Super Bowl, but you never know what happens. Once it's one and done, you want to at least get into the tournament and see and take your chances, right? I know for a fact if he's here at 20, they're going to take him. So I kind of have to draft him, which really, really grinds my gears. I really don't want to do it. It's not like I don't like Malik Willis. I just don't see the point of drafting a guy that's not helping your football team this year. If you're a team like the Steelers, again, I've mocked him to the Lions as early as 2. I've mocked him to Seattle. I've mocked him to a bunch of different teams because they're in different positions. They're not trying to win right now. They're not going for anything this year. So drafting him and letting him sit makes sense because you're just trying to accumulate talent and rebuild your team. The Steelers, this is a pseudo rebuild. It's a retooling more than a rebuilding mode. So taking a guy like Malik Willis, who's not going to help you win this year, to me does not make sense when you have a Zion Johnson who could really help you this year, right? If the offensive line is dominant and you can run the football and you can give Mitch Trubisky time to throw the ball, that could be the difference between wins and losses. That could be the difference between being a wild card or potentially winning your division. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's what I'm saying. It's not that Malik Willis is a bad pick. It's depending on who you draft in the first or second round. Those guys can be the difference makers. We saw it last year. Pat Freiermuth was amazing for us. If we had Creed Humphrey, we're a better football team. And in a perfect world, we would have drafted Creed Humphrey in the second round, and Pat Freiermuth would have probably still fell to us in the third round. So imagine how good our offensive line, how good our team would have been if we had Najee and we had Creed Humphrey at center instead of Kendrick Green, who was awful, and we still had Pat Freiermuth. Again, that's the difference between barely making the playoffs and probably winning 2-3 more games that gives you a chance to win the division. And now you're not playing the Chiefs in the first round. You're playing somebody else. And instead of having an offense that can't even do anything, you have an offense that is much more dynamic and much more a lot less predictable. And that's what I'm saying. They have to learn from their past mistakes. Don't reach on a guy that's not going to help you this year. So that's why I cannot draft Malik Willis here. I can't. If they want to, they will. To me, get a guy that's going to help you either on the offensive side or the defensive side. Devontae Wyatt would be a really good pickup for us. I really love Zion Johnson. I think we need a guard. Really solidify that offensive line. He's athletic. He can play multiple positions. I'm going Zion Johnson here. I think I think that just makes sense. It just makes sense. And people are going to say it's unrealistic. And sure, I'll do a mock draft in which we draft Malik Willis. I promise I will. If he's there at 20, I know we're going to take him. I know. But I just can't do it. I just can't do it because to me, it makes zero sense. All right. Patriots. What do they want to do here? Trent McDuffie is here. But Bill Belichick kind of likes bigger corners. I don't know if they take Trent McDuffie. They could take a chance on Jameson Williams. I could see that. But I think Bill Belichick will try to get better value. Again, the injury problem is what concerns me. And plus, Bill Belichick likes day two corners. So let's see. Daxton Hill might be interesting for them. That might be interesting. Honestly, I think they would trade back in this situation, but we're not really doing trade backs here. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's kind of really bad predicament for them. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Daxton Hill. Now this says safety, but I don't know. Daxton Hill's more of a free safety. I'm trying to think. Who do they have as free safety now? Is it still McCourty? Oh, yeah. Bill Belichick is definitely trading down this situation. He's definitely, without a doubt, trading down this situation. I'm gonna go to Kobe Dean here. They need a linebacker. I think Bill Belichick could do some things with Kobe Dean. Okay. Green Bay, I think they have to take a chance on Jameson Williams. A lot of the receivers are gone. I've been doing George Karlaftis to the Cardinals a lot lately, but this time I'll do Trent McDuffie. Instead, I might do George Karlaftis to the Cowboys. But no, I think they would love Daxton Hill, actually. Get them Daxton Hill. The Bills. Kyer Elam's still here. I like that for them. Let's do that. Tennessee. Now this is interesting. For Tennessee and Malik Willis is still there. That's something you think about. But again, it's the same principle. If you're Tennessee, you have the easiest division in the AFC. Although the Colts got better, but you still have an easy division. You have 2 games against the Jaguars. You have 2 games against the Texans, right? So those are wins. You'll probably at least split with the Colts, right? So that's a win. Right? It's about stacking wins, right? So once again, the goal is to get into the tournament. Once you're in the tournament, anything can happen, right? Malik Willis might be the play for the future, but you're still in win now mode. So I don't know if Malik Willis makes sense. And that's the problem. So I don't, yeah, I just don't see where that makes sense for them to do. Kobe Dean is usually here for them, but he's gone. All the linebackers are gone. Quay Walker's here. Is that somebody they take? Yeah, let's try Quay Walker. Kenyon Green to Tampa Bay makes sense. Jahan Dot, I think they might go double receiver. I think they might go double receiver. They need weapons. Jahan Dotson, Kansas City. They need to replace Honey Badger. So Lewis Seen. You're here again. George Karlaftis is still here. We'll take him. If you are Cincinnati, Falele. See, Falele, he's just like a big Paul Bunyan ass motherfucker, man. I don't know if that's what they want. Who's inside? Linderbaum, but he's only a center prospect. Corners are still here. Kyler Gordon, Tariq Woolen, Roger McCreary. Again, this is not my board. This is where they rank them. I have a lot of these guys ranked higher here. Yeah, I might go here. Hit the corner. And now, again, at 32, Malik Willis. It makes sense. That's the perfect landing spot for him. You get a 5th year on him. You're picking him again at 34. So whoever you wanted at 32 will still be there at 34, most likely. And you get a guy with high upside, high character, a guy that's not going to do anything this year, but that's fine because you're not doing anything this year. This makes the most sense. Malik Willis, 32 to the Lions, makes the most sense. It really does, guys. Like, that. Here we go, right? We got the 3 pass rushers right off the board. You get Sauce Gardner to the Jets, Kyle Hamilton to the Giants, Evan Neal, Kim, Garrett Wilson, Charles Cross, Jermaine Johnson, Drake London, Stingley, Booth, Penning, Lloyd, Raymond, Jordan Davis, Chris Olave, Traylon Burks, Zion Johnson. I know. If Malik Willis is there at 20, these idiots are gonna pick him. I know they are. I know, but I just can't. I can't do it. I can't wrap my mind around the thought process of drafting a guy that you know can't do anything for you this year when you have a win now roster. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I can't. There's no way you can convince me that that's a good idea. Now, I'll say this. If they trade back, right? If they were to trade back, and let's say they traded back far. Let's say they traded back from 20 all the way to, let's say Detroit traded up, right? For whoever. Detroit loves somebody at 20. They traded back and they gave us 32 and 34 and something else, right? Then fine. Okay. Right? So at 20, you're going back to 32. At 32, then yes, I would say the same thing. Draft Malik Willis so you at least get that 5th year option on him, right? And then at 34, get whoever else you want to get, whether that's an interior offensive lineman, whether it's a receiver, whether it's a corner, whether it's, you know what I mean? Like that would make sense. But at 20, I'm sorry, I can't justify it. I just can't. I can't do it. I cannot do it. So Zion Johnson, Kobe Dean, Jameson Williams, Trent McDuffie, Daxton Hill, Kyler Elam, Quay Walker, Kenya Green, Jahan Dotson, Lewis Seen, George Karlaftis, Turk Whelan, and Malik Willis. Only one quarterback is taken, and it's the last pick of the first round, which I think makes sense, man. I think we got to remind ourselves the NFL is not high on this draft class. So all these guys thinking that, oh, all these quarterbacks are going to be taken in the first round, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And sometimes throughout the draft process, you can convince yourself that somebody is worth a first round pick when they're not. But I think with everything that's going on in the offseason, I think a lot of teams have told themselves, yeah, we're not falling into that trap. So this is what the first round is this is what this should be. Again, I would do the little things different in this area, but y'all swear to me that y'all not taking an offensive tackle. So I'm tired of, don't say I don't listen to the comments. Don't say I don't listen to you. Y'all been DMing me and emailing me, and well, not emailing, but texting me and saying in the comments that the Jets aren't taking an offensive tackle. So there you go. I did it. I'm sure some other teams fans are gonna get mad at me about what I did, but let me know. All right. I'm never for Brett Me. That's NEVA _ the number 4 BRETT _ ME on Instagram and Twitter. We are at the _ dope blog on Instagram, the dope blog, all one word on Twitter. The dope.blog is our website. And because you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, and join us next time as we continue to discuss other people's excellence. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all.